And we're live. Hello. Just gonna light some sage to start the vibe. Not sage, sorry, Palo Santo. Hello. By the way, I can't tell you how many times I post about, hi Alan. I can't tell you how many times I post about, or I like show myself lighting Palo Santo, and everyone's like, is that a joint? I'm like, no, it is Palo Santo, not a joint. Hi everyone. Hi Jared. Thank you. And by the way, even if you guys can't stay for the whole thing, I love when people like pop by and say hello. So yeah, welcome. So I'll just take another minute or two and then we'll just jump right in. I'm like really excited about this. I get so happy with like school nerdy stuff. It's not even funny. Like I love learning and I love a school setting. And this training I went to yesterday was just like so enlightening, and I can't wait to share it with you guys because it's like fresh on my mind. And I know I didn't promote this very much, but it's like fresh on my mind and I had to like follow my inspiration. So here we are. Hi Sarah. Hi. Of course I'm gonna share. You should maybe take notes because this is like some good lessons, and it's not going to be too tech savvy because like IG Live is not the place for that, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. But it's just like some bullet points of things that I took notes on. Like this is how, we were given this little book, Activate Study Hall LA, and I took tons of notes, and there were other amazing things that I got from this that I want to share with you guys, other than things that I learned about just going to things like this and going outside of your comfort zone, that I wanted to share with you because truly doing things like this has really helped me evolve in my business and evolve as a person. And if you haven't done things like this, I totally encourage you to do it, and I'll explain to you why it's super important. So yes, whoever asked, this clears, it brings positive energy in. So sage clears it. It was called Activate Study Hall, and it's an event by Active Campaign, which is the email provider that I use in my business. I used to use MailChimp. I don't use it anymore. Active Campaign has so many capabilities. And by the way, I hated email shit. And I have zero affiliation with Active Campaign, by the way. So don't think that this is for that or any like secondary reason. Like genuinely, I just want to share with you what I learned. And it was like generic things that I think will apply to any business, anytime you want to like connect with customers. But yeah. Oh, one of the biggest things that I shifted was that I used to dread all email stuff, and I have Active Campaign. I've been building a list, but I haven't really gotten to know the platform. I've kind of just like put it away in my mind. I send emails out from my heart as much as I can, but I haven't really like dug into like email strategy or things like this because it just felt like boring, and it felt like I wasn't calling me, to say the least. But what I realized through this training is that I have this whole list of people who I could be knowing so much more about, getting to know them so much more intimately, talking to them, because they're individuals. Like you tend to forget that people that follow you and people on your email list are each individuals. You can talk to every single one of them. And there's actually ways to use this platform where you can singly and intimately talk to people instead of just sending mass emails. But they kind of brought like the humanness back to it. And you know me, you know that I'm all about like connecting with people and meeting with people. So as soon as I started to see it through that frame, like I started to see it as a way to get to know the people that are in my community better, and better send them things in a more tailored way so that they're actually getting the things that they want and need and are interested in, rather than just getting everything. Because I'm like addicted to this. I'm not done with it yet. Because you know me, and you know that I have a ton of interests, and I teach on a lot of different topics. So manifestation is the undercurrent of what I teach, and I teach people how to manifest like friendships and things in their career and health and body things, relationship things, homes. I'm not bad at manifesting homes. Mine just hasn't come yet. So there's an aspect to manifestation that is a co-creative process, and we can't control the timing. So there's a lot of patience involved in this process. And as much as I know about this stuff, I've been studying for over like 10 years. I have my own system for it. I still know, like, and it gets frustrating because you know a lot and you're like, why can't I just make this happen fast? There's a whole aspect of being patient and for divine timing of things. But anyways, long story short, how do you recommend start building a list if you're new? Okay, let's save the questions that's a great question. Let's save it to the end because I might cover that and I'll stop throughout. So, okay, I'm going to tell you about the event and then I'm going to tell you what I learned and the lessons that I got from it. And then we can like Q&A throughout. Okay, so just why I did this event and how I kind of do things in life. Whenever I want to advance in my life or business, I will do something that makes me uncomfortable. I'll stretch myself intentionally to do something beyond my comfort zone to help me get to where I want to go in my business. And by the way, I have like notes over here, so if you see me going this way, that's what this is about. But I put myself into the arena of things that I want. So my intention is to grow my business and reach more people and be more effective at what I do. So that's the dream, is to have like a bigger company and a bigger reach and a bigger audience and bigger all those things. So that's my vision, right? And this is how I manifest. I have a vision of what I want, what it's going to look like, how it's going to feel. And then I take action towards it. I take major action towards it. So that would involve going to a training program and learning about things that I'm inspired to learn that will help me grow and grow my audience and things like that. So it's not just the visualizing, it's not just the dreaming and writing out what you want, it's also the action component. And I know what it's like to not be taking action. It doesn't feel good. And I can say how gratifying it is to do the action because you get so much out of it. You truly do. And as soon as you start showing up, taking these big steps, the universe comes in and matches it and takes big steps as well. So anytime I do something that's beyond my comfort zone, it feels uncomfortable. It feels different. So whether that's working with someone, doing a new program, signing up for something, like it feels different and new because it's stretching me, and that's a good thing. It's supposed to feel that way. So this event, and I'll tell you how this inspiration came. Like I set very clear intentions for my business this year and where I want to go. And I know to stay open to inspiration and guidance. So this email popped up of this event. It was, I get emails from Active Campaign all day, but this popped up. I felt inspired and called to do it. So I followed that. I didn't think twice about it. I didn't overthink it. It excited me. And so these are the hallmarks of when something is inspired. It excites me. It kind of just comes quickly and it's an automatic yes for me, and it's just a go. It's not one of those things that I'm like, it just feels like an instinct. It feels like an impulse, and it feels exciting, like something I want to learn about. So I follow those. So I followed that. I booked the ticket. And then what's funny, and if this ever happens to you, as it got closer, I started feeling resistance. I realized that it was an hour and a half away from where I'm staying. I realized that it started at 7 a.m. I didn't know that. I was super tired the night before from like a long apartment search. Like I felt like resistance towards going. And part of me, my mind was like, maybe you should just you just cancel it. It wasn't that much money. It's okay, blah, blah, blah. But no, I stuck to it and I put myself outside of my comfort zone and followed through and took action. So, and I came fully ready to receive, knowing that these are the hallmarks of something that is meant for me, something that's meant to move me along my path further. So I came open and I came willing to learn, willing to talk to people, and willing to see like exactly what this opportunity could give me, what the most I could get out of this opportunity was. So So here are the main results that I got from this, and that if you find yourself pulled towards an event like this, that you will likely get as well. So I got a lot of information, obviously. I learned new capabilities of ActiveCampaign that I didn't realize were even there. And now that I have this new awareness and understanding, it unlocked this whole new set of possibilities for me to use this platform and for me to grow my business. So had I not learned these new things, it wouldn't have opened my eyes to all these new possibilities. Now I have inspired ideas, things I'm going to try, new ways I'm going to connect, new things I'm going to do. So it gave me information, and it kind of like unlocked things for me. It also, and I'm going to tell you the information too, but I just want to summarize these points. It also gave me connections, and I'll go into that as well. It gave me also so much confidence. It gave me so much self-belief, and it gave me a momentum, like an energetic, fired up momentum where I want to go take action on my email. Prior to this, last week, if you would have said, Laina, like, go spend time in ActiveCampaign today, I would have been like, no, like, don't want to do that at all. Like, please don't make me do that. Now I'm like, ooh, I want to do ActiveCampaign like all day today, because I did this event and I learned new things, and I'm inspired now, and there's a new energy around it. So taking action from that point is so much more powerful. So it gave me that. It gave me, and let me back up. It gave me connections, and I'll tell you the connections and why this is so important to me, and I think you could benefit from this as well, is like when you go to things like this, understand that everyone there has things in common. So, and know that I really believe in divine assignments. I feel like we're all brought to places together to learn something from each other. So for things like this, talk to people, ask questions during conversations, ask what they do for their business. Like, don't be scared to just talk to someone, you know, because when you do, you get to know, like, it again unlocks all these things. So I got to know a spiritual business coach who, once he heard, because I ask questions, and I ask questions all the time. I used to be terrified of that, but now I just do it. He learned what I was into, and he's a spiritual business coach, and like, we had a conversation. It was so aligned, and it was so cool. We have some of the same beliefs, so I'm excited to see what that turns into. I met an ActiveCampaign consultant expert who lives in LA, who I plan on going to for one-on-one guidance, which is dope, because it's so much better to have someone in person rather than, you know, frustrating, like, you know, if you're managing a website or doing an email provider, like getting help by typing something out or filing an email ticket thing is like miserable. So it's so nice to have a one-on-one person and have that contact. So I got that connection. And then I met a lady who was sitting next to me, and this connection actually like brought me so much confidence and inspiration, because she has, so everyone is there wanting some of the same things, but everyone comes from a different background. So I think there's maybe one other life coach, and there is like 20 people. So every single industry was kind of represented, and it was really cool to be around all those different types of people and get inspiration from their businesses. Because when you're surrounded with everyone doing the same thing, how do you think of something new? Like, it's hard to. So you get to hear how everyone applies similar concepts, and you get inspired ideas from them. But she was sitting next to me, and she was so lost in this thing. Poor thing. She was a lot older, which I think is so dope. She's like here attending this thing, learning. But she was lost. It was like very tech stuff in a section, and she was asking a lot of questions, and she was really cute. And then we started talking about what she does and what I do. And she was doing digital courses, but she is in the space, I kid you not, she teaches sewing. She teaches sewing and like quilting and things like that. You know, totally different worlds, still do digital courses and use ActiveCampaign. So, but what I realized from her is that she had this massive ass YouTube audience, like close to 1 million in followers. I was like, damn, lady, like, do you tell me, teach me your ways. Like, what do I need to learn? And and then I looked at her page, and I looked at her thing and her style and the branding and things, no judgment, but just so different from anything I would do. So different. than anything that I would want to purchase from, but she has this massive audience that loves her, like massive audience that loves her, huge ass audience. So there's people out there that really need what you have, and it, like, you don't have to have this like dream perfect aesthetic or whatever. Like, your people are going to connect to you. So she was able to build this huge audience off this random topic from a, I don't know, like, different aesthetic. Let me put it that way. I'll just be nice. So there's possibility for all of us, okay? There's space for all of us, and it's about like doing something that you love and sharing it with the world. Anyways, okay, so there was a lot of connection. There was a lot of confidence and self-belief. Like, that really did inspire me and make me feel like I could be myself, and there's enough people that need it where I'm good. You know, it's going to work. Everything's going to be great. I'm going to have the audience I desire, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I also learned from everyone's collective questions that there's a learning curve to all of this. Sometimes there were people in there, for example, that have been trying to understand this concept or this feature of Active Campaign for months. And it took until getting in person to this session, this group thing, and hearing different people discuss it to have that one person that makes it click for you, and then it all clicks in. So this guy raised his hand and he was like, okay, I feel lost. He was like, I'm cloudy, very cloudy, slight chance of clarity. Can you please explain that again? And then a couple other people chimed in, and after the group kind of collectively pulled together, he was like, oh shit, I get it. And he like rehearsed it. We're all like, whoa, okay, you really do get it. So it was just cool to be part of that like group synergy and hear everyone's perspectives and know that we're all kind of like different but similar. Yeah. And there's a learning curve. Sometimes it takes hearing things multiple times and it clicks in at the time that it's meant to click in for you. But give yourself the opportunity to hear it over and over again, to surround yourself with the resources over and over again. And that doesn't go just for business, but for life. Like, I can't tell you, I've listened to a million law of attraction things, and like something won't click, and months later it will, from a completely different author. And anyways, give yourself time and space to integrate and learn things. Especially when it's like tech stuff. Like, there's a learning curve and it gets so much easier. Just give yourself like time. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, I learned that there's many ways of support, by the way. And if you are an Active Campaign, know this. Like, had I not gone to this event, I wouldn't have known that there is this whole like educational center with like cool videos, easy videos, courses, like office hours where they do free Q&A with the video of the actual teacher that taught me. So like, I can go in there and ask him anything, and he can go in the back end of my site. Like, it's very interactive. So there's like so many more avenues of support that I didn't realize were there. So those are available on Active Campaign. I was also inspired. I have brand new ideas that I'm going to implement. And I was also, like I said, it totally changed my view on email and marketing in general, because it brought back like that human component. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second, and then I'm going to go straight into the things that we learned. Does anyone have any questions, any thoughts, anything they want to know more about or curious about at this point? Hi, Chab. I just like rambled for a good 20 minutes, and now we're going to go into the points. By the way, like, hi, everyone. I wish I could see like everyone. Can you say hi? Hi, Chad. I love it, you guys. So you guys must be also interested in business. What kind of, does anyone want to tell me about your business? Tell me what you're into? Or we can just go. Okay. Good. Okay, so now we're going to get into like some specific, hi Sasha, we're going to get into some specific things that I learned. So, like I said, like a lot of these were like aha moments for me. Like, capabilities that I didn't know existed, things I had never thought of before, and it totally changed my approach to reaching out to people and connecting to people, and just my whole perspective on email stuff in general. Teach 3-year-olds, online store. Amazing. I like your positivity. You guys are so amazing. So regardless, like I said, in this training thing that I did, everyone had totally different careers. I don't even want to tell you what the girl next to me had. She's writing, okay, I'll tell you. Obviously, I'm going to tell you. She's writing a book and doing a screenplay on, she was in a sex cult. I was like, oh, okay. Don't know much about that, but awesome. Tell me more. Anyways, there's a diverse group of people, and you can all apply these same concepts to your business. So, okay. I don't know what point you guys are in, and even if this is something that you have been doing and worked on, it's always good to like refresh and get back to the basics and relook at your business, and relook at your strategy and relook at what you're doing and making sure it's working. And if this is something that you're not at this point yet, just like absorb the information now. That way when you get ready and you get to that point to do it, you already are familiar with it. It's going to be that much easier. And if you do want, thank you, if you want this to be sent out to you, please DM me and I'll add you to an email list and I'll send this stuff out so you can see the recording of this. Okay, so these are practical things that I learned. So ActiveCampaign is a mass emailing system, right? So you send emails out to lists of people, group segments of people, and you send an email campaign out. What I had been doing previously is I had that to send mass email campaigns, and then I had something called Dubsado to send individual emails to clients and prospects and things like that. I was doing both. It felt a little frustrating to do both, a little disjointed. I had no idea that ActiveCampaign had the capability to filter people in a way and send personal emails in a way where you can individually speak to and manage the contacts. So he put such a stress on the idea of direct mailing people. So, we're taught that we need to have these email blasts and these newsletters and these monthly emails and these things like this. And I send them as well. But there's also such a need for personal individual emails and getting back to the fact that everyone on your list, no matter how big or small it is a person and needs something from you. So he talked about bringing that human element back and connecting people with more intimately. And I learned that there is a feature in ActiveCampaign. And if you have ActiveCampaign, you go to the individual contact, and at the bottom of the contact, you can send email. So their whole vibe was like, stop thinking about this in terms of like lists and start thinking about this in terms of contacts. Like you want to get to know the contact, get to know their behaviors, get to know what they're clicking on, what they're asking for, send them personal emails, get to know them, and then be able to get them the things that you provide that are a match for them. And so I liked that aspect. It feels much more connected than mass emails, which you do as well, but it's a way to like get people what they need in a better fit. So the personal touch and doing it that way. He also said something very interesting about a basic welcome automation. So if you don't know what this is, what you're doing is you're building a list, right? You're building a list of people so you can stay in touch via email. And when they subscribe to the list, they should get an automatic welcome email. So an automation is an automatic email, and if you want emails to go consecutively after that, they're pre-written and they go and they're set off by different triggers or targets, and they get released, right? So for example, it would be like a welcome email, and then a couple days later, another email, and you just stay in touch after that. What I learned, and which you might already know, is that the welcome email has that first initial email has the highest open rate out of all of them. So out of all of them, and they progressively decline over time. So a lot of people want to drip out like cool free content over the course of this email series, which I do as well. This is what I've been doing. But if your welcome email just says like, hi, you're going to get some cool shit in a week, like you're missing on an opportunity when the max amount of people are watching it, reading it, opening it, to give them a little more information than that, to give them a little more than like, hi, wait till next week, so your most important information should be in that welcome email. So like really be, and I love mixing the spiritual and the practical, like really be intentional about this welcome email is what I gathered. So what do you want them to know about you? What's important? What do you speak, like get very clear on who you're speaking to and what they need to know and how to connect to them and how to serve them and how to get to know them as much as possible in this like welcome email, right? So I thought that was huge. I wasn't aware that I wasn't putting like my best information in there. I was just putting something that I thought would apply to a lot of people, but I could be very, very intentional with this. And I plan to like redo all of this stuff. So, so the welcome email, very important. Then what do you think? So then after a welcome email, you should have a thank you page that pops up after scratch that. So after they opt in, they get a welcome email. But after they opt in, you can set up a thank you page that pops up, right? That says, thank you for putting in your email, blah, 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 blah. What do you think the open rate, or what do you think the rate is for, or the view rate for that thank you page that pops up right after you put in your email? It's 100%. So you want to be very intentional about that page. What is on this thank you page? You know what I mean? So being very clear, do you want to offer something? So some ideas are, do you want to have them download maybe something that's inexpensive, that could be really helpful to them and help them get to know you and what your work is? Or do you want to have them set up a call with you? Or what do you want? If everyone that signs up is going to see this thank you page, what do you want to be on it? So being very intentional about that. I thought that was brilliant. Then I realized, this is another huge thing, ActiveCampaign has text message, SMS services. I have yet to explore this. I didn't realize this. I think that's dope. I'm so going to look into this because the open rate for a text is like phenomenal compared to emails, right? I don't like emails. I think that was another block of mine. I don't really like emails. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. So SMS is a thing. Maybe let's look into it, see what's up with that. I fully plan on it. Then automation. So he had 3 major automations that are the basic foundation, and I don't like emails either, but this whole thing is reframing it, and I'm gonna really try to bring a more personal component to the emails and actually like get to know people, because I love doing that anyways, and it's not just like a blank email. And I think if you have that intention to, and again, intentionality always with everything, that intention to really connect and get to know the person behind the email, like I think it might shift everything. So I'm gonna not hate on emails and give this thing a spin. So, okay, the 3 basic automations that they recommend having in place. And if you aren't, and by the way, I thought this was brilliant, whatever automations you have in place or do not have in place, revisit them every quarter. So links might break, might get lost, like your copy and the way you express yourself and your vibe and what you want to say might change. So, and you'll also get feedback from people like, oh, this didn't work, or this, so over time I realized these grow and improve, and you want to reassess them every quarter. And I'm going to add to that and say, like, reassess all your shit every quarter. Like, look at your copy on your website, make sure it feels like you. Like, I'm about to do this myself, and like kind of look at what I'm offering, and do I feel good about it? Do I want to freshen it up? Like, how can I make this more me? Because we grow and evolve, and your website and all your stuff is an expression of you. So like, let's keep it fresh and current. So I thought that was cool. Revisit every quarter and test out all your stuff. So here are the basic ones. So a welcome automation, and these can be super simple, and they actually recommend like keeping it simple, because you can make these like a web of craziness and they don't need to be. So welcome automation, like again, what are you gonna drop in that first welcome email, because it is super important. And then how's it going to go from there? Where are you going to lead them to? Another useful automation that you can make is an event reminder automation. So there's a way to set up, like if you're going to do and by the way, there are pre-made templates for these automations. They're called recipes, and I think that's dope. I didn't realize how many good automations are in there, and how that there are really people behind the company. So you could go email them and say like, hey, I would really love it. They're constantly looking for feedback. So if you say, I would love an automation on this, they'll like go create it that day. They have someone like no, not MailChimp. This whole thing is about ActiveCampaign. No. This is way more capabilities. This all is ActiveCampaign. For anyone that didn't hear that at the beginning. And I'm not an affiliate for them at all. Like, this is just what I'm doing. I'm just sharing. Okay, so event reminders, which are if you have like a webinar, or if you have, and by the way, there is a recipe for a webinar automation that's pre-set up that like has the days and times. So you just like go in, don't worry. You go in and you like customize it. And I only said whoa and reacted like that because I was worried that like people were not knowing it was an ActiveCampaign. It would feel bad if you thought, oh, this was MailChimp. And I just want to be super clear that it's ActiveCampaign. Okay, so event reminders. You can let people know if you have an Instagram Live. Ooh, I didn't realize that. You can let people know if you have an Instagram Live and have emails set up that remind them. If you have a live event, if you have a webinar, like whatever, use the automation. So what I realized is like you can totally, and by the way, if you guys want this recording, DM me and I'm going to add you to an email list that's going to send you out this recording. Okay. So event reminders. And then there's pre-built ones that are really good, like I said. Okay, wait. There was another automation that they recommended. Okay, it's actually a complicated one, and I don't want to talk about it because I don't fully get it. It's called engagement tagging, and I'm like not there yet. But it's an engagement tagging automation. Sorry, my voice is like going. Okay. Okay, so here's some other important concepts. Get to know the back end of your business. So like these things can feel like very tedious in the beginning, but you can also kind of like make them fun if you want. But it's such a good practice. Like obviously you're going to be able to hire this stuff out later. I hire this stuff out now, but I feel like it's my responsibility to like really get in there and know what's going on and really have my touch on all of it, like my vibe on all of it. Like I want everything to sound and feel like me. So like I want to not do all of it, but like do the things that need my voice. And I want to know, we should know what's going on, what's happening with the automations. Like look at everything, have your hands on everything, you know? Be looking at everything, not do everything. But just, get to know the back end of your business so that you can delegate, because if you rely on one person to do everything and this one person leaves, it's going to be very hard for you to train a new person. So the more you know, the more organized you are and aware you are, it's easier for you to explain this to other people who can help you. So another cool thing that I got was I thought that I would need a whole intern for a podcast. So I will be launching a podcast very soon. I thought I'd need a whole intern to help me do all the things, like setting up an interview or scheduling that, sending them a questionnaire, doing all that. I didn't realize that you could booking a slot and so this guy showed us how he created this thing called a pipeline in ActiveCampaign, which I still am learning about. But it's a whole like automation and process that automates and makes, I was going to say automates and makes automatic. Okay. You know where I'm going with this. The whole podcast thing done for you. So like people who have been doing podcasts for like 10 years were like, oh my God, I hired employees just for this, like just for this. This wipes it all out. So you can set up like steps and triggers and things like that. It's called a pipeline that keeps you on track with what event comes next, and it sends out emails accordingly, and it sends out scheduling links, and it will notify you if someone books, and that'll trigger another email. It sounds like a lot. I think it might be a lot, but we can go like hit up their Q&A that they have and be like, give us the secrets, because this automated the whole thing. So there's a lot of capabilities and things you can do, and it's about my new vibe is like, let's work smarter, like let's work more efficiently and have some processes in place that can just go to free up a little bit of your time, you know? Okay, simplify the automations, revisit every quarter. We said that. Oh, and then unsubscribe. So when someone unsubscribes, it may be because what you're sending them isn't the right fit for them, but they might still want other information. So a way to still help them is to, after they unsubscribe, you can link a landing page or a next page where they can choose another list if they like. You know, so for me, for example, like I teach people on a lot of different concepts. I teach how to manifest money. I teach how to manifest in general, how to learn my process. I teach, what else do I teach? I teach some stuff about like health and wellness. I teach some stuff about like straight mindset. I teach some stuff, like I teach different kind of like categories. I teach some like full moon stuff and some like, you know, so there's different tags for people who have signed up for different things, right? So I could set up, and what I am going to set up is a screen after the unsubscribe that says like, if any of these interest you, like here you are, and you'll only get emails for this. So it's like giving them another option in case they do want to learn more from you or stay in touch about something specific. Then another thing, and we're almost done, is that there are membership capabilities with Active Campaign. So you can actually run a whole membership platform with Active Campaign, which I have no idea. So I plan to research that because that's something that I do want in my business. And again, like had I not attended an event like this, I would have never known that this capability or any of these existed. So I'm super grateful that I did, and I'm going to explore it a lot more. And another thing is they talked about Airtables, and I don't know if anyone has heard of that, but it's a resource that they suggested a lot, and apparently it's a way to organize contacts and things like this in a very unique and efficient way. So I started playing around with it today, and it's that good old learning curve where when I first started, I was like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't make any sense. But then I got a little more used to it. But just take note, Airtables, I don't know, let's look into it and see what's up. But yeah, so that is a summary of the things that I've learned, the lessons I learned, a couple different helpful tips for email marketing and connecting and things like that. So do you guys have any questions, or I hope that helped. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to ask, not just on what I talked about, but like any of it. And I strongly encourage, like this is how I feel like I pull myself forward in life and businesses. I do something like this that stretches me. Like I love attending events, I love learning, and it's not just the knowledge that you get, it's like the connections that you make there, other ways that support can come in, and then all of the ideas and inspiration that comes from the new things that you learned. Like, so all these new things I'm going to try that I talked about that I wouldn't have even considered had I not known or had I not found out what I did at yesterday's thing. So like, don't be afraid to go to these things. Don't be afraid to meet people. Don't be afraid to ask questions and speak up, because it allows other people to get to know you too. Because there's always like tons of benefits of doing stuff like this. Now, I mean, and to have me excited about email is like beyond me. Didn't think that was possible. So any questions? Anything you guys want to know? Who would have thought I would have been excited about talking about emails? Anyone? And if you want this sent out, just DM me. DM me and I'll send it to you in an email list. Never heard of all Airtables. Yeah, I've never heard of Airtables either. But it has a lot of different capabilities too. And another big lesson that I learned is like, instead of just like doing this stuff blindly, which I did, and I guess all of us have different ways of learning and different paths to all of this. But for me in my own life, like if I'm going to use something, then I want to get to know it well and really learn it so that I can use it to its full capability. Because I think it could make my life a lot easier if I did. I've also been procrastinating in this aspect. Any tips to get started? Procrastinating in which aspect? You want like a tip on procrastination in general or tip on procrastinating? Are you talking about like emails? Because for me, I think I was procrastinating on revamping this part of my business because I wasn't interested in it. It felt like a chore. But I changed a perspective around it, and now I view email and the marketing and sales stuff around that as like actually getting to know the people that are reading my emails better and helping get things that I offer to people in a more effective way. Like instead of just throwing shit against the wall, I can like target and like narrow things down and give people exactly what they need. So any tips to get started in the email list? So I think did you ask about building the list? So yeah, tell me a little more specifically so I can help you. And you're so welcome for sharing. I mean, tips for procrastinating in general is get yourself re-excited about it and then just sit down and do it. Sit down and carve out the time. Like, get yourself into the zone of work. Carve out like a certain amount of time that you're going to dedicate to it. I would recommend like creating a plan before, like creating a plan for your day of some things that you want to work on, and say, we can talk about building a list. Create a plan in your day of things that you want to work on and carve out time and say like, this is the time where I'm going to focus on my emails. Like it's, you can get way more inspired and excited about it if you like sit down to actually do it instead of just thinking about it, like actually carving out the time, sitting down. It may be like take you a minute or two to get into it, but you'll get into your flow if you just like start going. Okay, so how to get inspired around building the email list? Well, it depends on how you want to build it. So different ways that you can build your email list is to, well, first of all, think about like, who do you want to be on your list? And what do you want to share with them? And what are they dealing with? What are they like interested in? What are they struggling with? And what can you create or offer or share that's gonna help them? So like that's if you want to go the route of building your list by giving someone a piece of free content or something. So if you want to do that, get excited about something fresh maybe you want to give to them and offer them. But I would really tie it to like, so essentially you want it all to connect, right? So at your end goal is, say your end goal, and it depends on your end goal, but say your end goal is a one-on-one private client, right? So that's your end goal, is a private client, and say you have a single session, right? That's like your favorite offering right now is your single sessions that you do with private clients. And that's the thing that you want to fill and promote and sell and share and be in, right? So for that single session, think about like who you ideally want to work with in that single session. Who are they? What are they struggling with? What do they need help with? How can you help them? How can you, like how are they going to feel differently after the session? And like get really clear about that. And then think about once they get on your list, like what would be something really cool to help them on their way to the single session. So like what would be someone that person that you just described, struggling with the things that they're struggling with, like dealing with whatever, like what's a tool, or like you could offer anything, like a blog post that helps them, like an audio recording that's a couple minutes long. Maybe it's like something as simple as an Instagram story that was really inspiring and powerful. Maybe it's an email with a check, maybe whatever it is, but what am I inspired to give them? What do I feel like? And have this person in mind. So once you like get excited about this thing that you're going to exchange and give them, it can help you get started. So everyone with all the things on narrowing down and getting clear. Yeah, I mean, I think begin with the ending in mind. So tailor whatever you're going to give them, make it relate to where you want them to go. So if it's a one-on-one single session, and in your one-on-one single session, you talk about manifestation, and you guys are manifesting something specific, and that's what you do in your session. It's really cool and it's really fun. And that's the person that's what you're leading them to, right? So in your welcome email, like you want tie it into manifesting. Give them some tip or trick, or give them like a meditation that can help them with manifestation. Let them get to know you, but like just create one automation right now. Like one automation, one thing that's gonna help you build your list, but lead people to the one service you're most excited about. So it's like singling it down. And you can do all of the things, but just choose one right now to focus on for your immediate like future. And future is like relevant or relative. Do you suggest starting a family and friends to build the list? Yes. So tell me what your service is and tell me what you do, and I'll give you some insight. But yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to start with all the things. Like you essentially need to know this. You have something that needs to be shared. You have a service that needs to be shared. You have a skill set, qualities, like you have something that needs to get out to people, and your people are out there, and it's no doubt that they're there. It's just about you getting in front of them. So you're going to have to get in front of as many people as possible in as many different ways, and show them you and show them what you have to offer them so that they can see you. So definitely start with friends and family. And by the way, these connections can be made anywhere. That's why I'm all about like talking to people. So don't discount like when you meet people in person, like let people know who you are and what you do. You never know what's going to lead to what. But yes, friends and family are great to start in building your list. Instagram, tell your Instagram people that you have this email list and also be very clear. This is something that I learned, and I'm going to, revisit with my own. Be very clear with people what they're going to get when they're on your email list, like what they're going to receive when they sign up, when they're going to receive it, what it's going to be like, and then what they can kind of like expect, so clarity. So people are the right match. People are on there intentionally. I write and have a full-time job. It's a dream to do something to inspire other people to their full potential. So perfect. You do have something. You have a message to share to inspire people to their own potential. So you're writing. So maybe you're writing blogs. Whatever content that is that's inspired, that's coming out through you, let people hear it. Let people hear it. It can only change them if they hear it and get to interact with it. So like get it out to people. That's very important. Inspiring people is incredibly important. Like with the people on your Instagram, it's not a naive question at all. Any other questions? Or if you guys have anything you want to share with the people on here, do that too, because we're all learning from each other. I wanted to keep it like simple what we talked about, because there's a lot. It can get deep. And then I think it's really important, and something that I'm getting into more is like nurturing and tailoring. So nurturing your groups of people, right? So like as you say you want to promote single manifesting sessions right now. So you create some like cool content to share with them so that they get a preview of it and they get to know you on their way to buying, a single session. Wait, where was I going with this? Hold on. What was I saying? I lost it. Can you guys tell me what I was just saying? if you can remember. Okay, I think we're stuck. In the meantime, any questions you have, let me know. What was I saying though? I feel like that was a good thing. Oh, nurturing it. You're so right. So whether you have something that's on manifesting, that's going to lead to your manifesting session, or maybe you have something and you're helping people with business tips, like start nurturing these different people. Like instead of sending everyone everything all the time, like I'm really feeling a call, and like their message as well was to get more intimate and more narrow with that stream of people. So like you essentially kind of want each thing to be leading to something. So what's like the end thing that you're leading them to, and how can you like shape that along the way, but tailored towards what they're interested in, you know? So like nurture them, like let them get to know you. And I don't think and they also stress this, and I'm so happy they had this message, is that there's no one right way to do this, and it's so individual, and I think it has to be such an authentic process. And I think you also have to, and I know you also have to use your own intuition and your own guidance about what you feel like works best for you and is your vibe. Like what feels like you, you know, like it's not me to have like 20 million emails go out. Like that's not me. So I have to find the way that's like the Laina way to share emails, you know? So find your you way. And I'm sure that's going to like grow and change and evolve. But more nurturing, more personal touch, like more connection with it. And I was impressed that like the active campaign tech savvy people were saying messages like that. I was like, oh, so up my alley. I love it. All right, any other questions or anything you guys want to share with each other? Like say for example, like you guys are here because you're listening to business. There's 10 of you right now. Whoever DMs me, I'm going to send you out the video. So I'll have like a list of people who I know specifically are into business stuff. So, and it's tricky. Like a lot of you are probably likely into manifestation and you're into other things. And I can send you those things, but I'm most definitely going to make sure that I'm sending you more business stuff, you know? And if I come up with a product around business, I'm going to make sure it's going to you. And I know these things are like, intuitive, but it's true. It's like nurture and help the people with their respective interests, you know, because no one wants to feel, and there's a place for mass emails too, and I'm still trying to find out that balance, but no one wants to feel like a number anymore, you know. And there's mass emails that I get that I love opening up, like things that universally apply, you know, like things that inspire me personally, like notes from the universe, for example. I cannot wait to open that every morning because it feels universal, applies. I can always feel myself in it. Like it's great. But I also don't like the emails that are like not at all anything that I'm interested in, that just like come to me, you know. It just feels like, get out of my mailbox, like you don't even know me, you know. So I realized like how important it is to like get to know your audience and get to know what they want and like help them with that. Okay. Again, DM me if you want to be sent this via email. I'm going to put you in a new automation. No, but I really am. I'm so excited to like build new automations, like different things like this. But any business questions, you can always DM me. I'll help you to the best of my ability. Emails also do bring energy. That's for sure. There's energy behind all of this. All of it, every post, everything you do. So yeah, keep in touch with me. I hope this was helpful, and that's it. That's it. Things in my world, if you want to work with me, are I have an opening for a private client, starting ASAP, starting whenever you feel called. This starts at, well, I love doing 6 months, but there's also 3 months if you'd like. I have a tribe group program starting with a kickoff dinner in LA, February 22nd. That's for women only. It's going to be an intimate group. It's going to be 3 or 6 months, and it's going to start with a dinner in LA. We're going to set powerful intentions together. I'm bringing like this ritual magic kind of vibe to it. And it's really going to be about connection and things like that. And group learning and manifestation, the power of a group, and all the stuff that I talked about that helped me in this training is going to be the same thing. The link in my bio has all information on that. I'm getting on the phone with people, see if it's a good fit. So DM me if you want to schedule a call. Starts February 22nd, and then it's a group. Like, we start the month with a group call first Friday of every month to like get re-inspired towards our goals. And then you get a private session with me 2 monthly. But it's about bringing women together, because I've, through my business, have encountered and met like the most incredible women, and we're all so much more similar than you realize. Like, we all have the same interests. We all have the same, everyone here is like such good energy. Everyone here is like so into positivity and mindset and believing in themselves. And the only problem that I find in my own life and I've struggled with and with others is that when you're doing this stuff on your own, like, you have this big vision of what you want, but it can get very easy to get discouraged, and it can get very easy to fall back and play small and not take the action that you know you should be taking, because you're doubting yourself and because you are likely alone. And this is very common. Like, you're likely alone in your set of beliefs, or alone in this entrepreneurship thing you're starting, or this vision or this goal of yours. Because what I find is people like us are placed in situations where we're different. We're not the same as everyone else around us, because we're here to be that catalyst, be that change, be that example. And so we're put in places where it's like a little uncomfortable and sometimes isolating. So when you're alone with this stuff, it's a lot harder. When you have support around you and you have a group of people around you and you're setting a big expansive vision, and you are like redirecting your energy and focus and attention to it each and every month in a group call, group problem solving, group discussions, and then following it up with a private call with me, it's going to help you really take action and really create some momentum and movement. And you're going to meet cool girls. You're going to make connections like I made at this thing. So that's what it's about. If you want to book a call, let me know soon, or rather than later, DM me and we'll set it up. And the link is in my bio if you want to know pricing, date, times, everything. Any questions on anything? All right, so everyone take some action soon, ASAP, yesterday, towards your dreams and desires. I am so guilty of not taking solid action, but they say action is faith in motion. So we can have faith, we can believe in these things, but it's about the action that really shifts things forward. Because I've done a lot of coaching and not taken action. I've done a lot of courses and not implemented. If you want to move towards your goals, you got to move. So let's move together, collectively. You need me, DM me. I love you. Thank you for joining. And that's it. If you're interested in coaching or the group program, reach out to me. And yeah, good night.